What's going on, everyone? You got Matt here, coach of the Montreal Milotics, bringing you my WPL Season 6 draft analysis video. I'm super excited because I've been trying to get into the WPL for a while now. I've been a pretty avid fan, I guess, of what's been going on there in the WPL, and it helps that one of my better friends from the draft league community, Sohan, aka the OP Jellicent, is the commissioner. But he finally let me in, and I'm very excited because it's perfect timing. It's Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon now, and there's a ton of crazy threats available. So this is a tiered draft, guys, and by the way, this is an upload required league. The first upload date will be on, I believe it's Sunday, December 10th. I believe that's a Sunday, but it's on December 10th for sure. That's the first week of uploads. I won't be providing team builders. I'll just be doing like a bit of a breakdown of what I brought before or after each battle. But yeah, so this is a tiered draft. And there are 5 tiers, of course. We have tier 1 with all the broken stuff, tier 2 semi-broken, tier 3 is where we start to get like more value picks, and tier 4 and 5 are very well, they could be useful, but you're usually really trying to find something that just fits your team, rounds your team out, not necessarily finding the best mod possible at that point in the draft. So you will always draft 1 tier 1, 1 tier 2, 2 tier 3s, a tier 4, tier 5, a mega Pokemon, and then you have 400 points for your free Pokemon total, and you draft 4 free Pokemon. So I had the 7th pick in the draft, and I was very excited with what I could potentially draft because there's a lot of great stuff available. I know there's a lot of good stuff. They allowed both Mega Laddies, they allowed Naganadel, they didn't allow Lele or Magearna, so I'm not using any of those, unfortunately, but there is a very good chance that we can get Blacephalon. That was the mon I was kind of targeting down at some point in the draft because I felt like, I mean, it's got great speed, attack, special attack, but for some reason, I don't know how, but like I said, I was the 7th pick in the draft. Somehow, Naganadel made it down to me. And this thing, I'm recording this on the 26th of November, so this thing literally just got banned from OU today. And I picked it like a week ago when we started the draft. So I have this thing, it has incredibly high special attack, incredibly high speed, access for beast boost for either its speed or its special attack, excuse me, and ridiculous coverage. It's one of my Z captains, one of my Z users, it's my offensive Z user, and this thing is just kind of punch holes. I expect him to be in the top 5 in the MVP race this season. So that's that. I do want to find a very good steel type to pair this with, because I want to find something that could resist fairies. I want to find something that could resist the grounds. I was thinking maybe Skarmory. I really wanted Mega Scizor. I think that was the ideal Pokemon I had in my mind. So Mega Scizor was on my watch list, but I don't know how, but Mega Latias was still around in like 20 picks later. It was like the 25th pick of the draft, something like that, which is insane. It does not make sense that Mega Latias was still around. So I decided to take that. Yeah, it doesn't fit perfectly with Naganadel, but we're still early on in the draft where I think I can draft the best available Pokemon and I'd be very happy. So this, of course, has Levitate. It is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in all of Draft League history, with like over 110 in all of its defenses and like, I think it's what, 150 special defense. So this thing just does not die. And it gets nice reliable recovery, has great speed, has great special attack at 140, amazing coverage. I'm really excited to use Mega Latias. I think it's going to be a very good partner with Naganadel, despite being both weak to Ice and to Dragon. So yeah, that's that. Let's move on to our 3rd pick in the draft, and I want to grab this Pokemon if it was in tier 3 for sure. I want to grab Arcanine in tier 3, but it's in tier 2, so I was really debating between that and another Pokemon, and I decided to go with Arcanine because it does resist the Ice types and the Fairy types that will be plaguing my dragons right now. And the best part about having Arcanine is that it can be physically defensive or especially defensive. It has 3 great abilities, and it can be physically offensive or especially offensive. So you have a really big mixed bag of tricks, and I've usually fallen into a hole of not drafting a good fire type, and Arcanine to me is the 2nd or 3rd best fire type in the entire draft league format. So I'm really happy I got it. Even though it is tier 2, it kind of sucks, a little bit expensive, but I'm happy to pay up for it because I think my draft will be very strong. With my next pick, I was coming back up, and I really wanted another Ice Resist because, I mean, having 2 dragons like this, I really want to make sure I had a good Ice Resist, but I don't know how Landorus Therian was still available. This thing I picked, I'll give you guys just a spoiler a bit, I picked Landorus with a 3rd pick overall in a draft, in a free draft actually, and it made it all the way down to the 4th round for me. That's ridiculous. Against the Defog, now if you guys didn't know, Stealth Rocks, of course, U-Turn, it has so many different options: Double Dance, Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Z-Move, support, defensive, Rocky Helmet. Like, there's so much that this thing can do. It has Intimidate, of course. We have an Intimidate core with Arcanine and Landorus now. I'm very excited to use this Pokemon. And again, it's our slowest Pokemon at base 91. That's insane. So we have a 121, a 110, a 95, and a 91. Our speed here so far are pretty damn good. Next up, though, I decided to go after that Pokemon that was resisting ice, and it's because, of course, I have 3 Pokemon that are weak to ice, so I kind of have to have a good ice answer, and that is Vaporeon. Vaporeon is very especially defensive. It is very, very bulky with its HP stats, like 110, I think, which is fat. It's so fat. But then it has lackluster defenses, but I have 2 Intimidate Mons so far in my first 5. Like, that's pretty damn good. So I'm happy with this, and it's also a water immunity. Water types, Plague, Arcanine, and Landorus, and I mean, when your answer for an ice type is a fire type, and most ice types get water coverage, then you kind of want to have something to counteract that weakness. So Vaporeon is a great Pokemon here. It gets Wish, it gets Heal Bell, Baton Pass, Yawn, Scald, Ice Beam. Its special attack stat is actually, I think, 95, so that's not too bad at all. And I'm very excited to use Vaporeon. I've used it before, and of course it will be named Purple Pedro. That's why I named all my Vaporeons. So yeah. Next up, though, I decided to find something in Tier 4. Tier 3 just didn't have everything that I was looking for right now. I don't know what it is, but either Tier 3 has so much that I want or very little. And that really sucks because usually most of your draft is made up of Tier 3 Pokemon. So I decided to dip down to Tier 4, and I picked up something that would help me out because this format is new. Not many people, well, many people, let me restart that. Not many people have much information about the new Pokemon come out. Like, everyone knows the Rodents now get defogged, everyone knows the Genies now get defogged, but some random little things might get sticky webs that you don't really know. So having Ditto around to just, I don't know, getting some information is really useful. Choice Scarf is obviously the most popular set with Imposter, but I've successfully ran a non-Scarf Ditto in the past before. I know Scrappy has actually run a Lagging Tail Ditto in the past before, and it did so much work against the Trick Room team, so props to him for that, and I think I can definitely take advantage of Ditto in this league. Now, the next pick I wanted, guys, I'm not kidding, I was looking at the draft and like, Silvally is Tier 4, Silvally is Tier 4, why is it Tier 4, what the hell? But then I realized it's not all the types, it's only one specific type, which really sucks because Silvally gets defogged now. So it's definitely, to me it's Tier 1 worthy now, at this point. But that's neither here nor there. So I still don't have a Fairy type, I still don't have a Steel type. I want to pick up maybe Klefki I was thinking of, and I had an idea in my head for what I want. And this pick I actually picked Magnezone first, but Magnezone was taken, so that really sucks because it was the perfect fit for our team. It would trap bulky Steel types that Naganadel and Latias hate. It was just the perfect Pokemon. Sadly for me, it was picked, it wasn't on the dock when I picked it, so I had to improvise and find something else. And then I realized Slurpuff is Tier 4. This thing gets not Stealth Rocks, it gets Sticky Webs, it gets Wish, it gets Belly Drum with Unburden. It's very bulky for, I mean, a Tier 4 Pokemon. It's like 85 in all defenses pretty much, something like that. And it gets good clerical stuff, so it's a good backup for as a cleric other than Vaporeon. It can come in and sweep. People really prepare for a physical and a special Slurpuff, and if you're not prepared to take out a Fairy, then Cakes here will take you down. So that's that. We got Slurpuff here, and I decided to pick up yet another Tier 4 now, and that will allow me to pick up a Tier 3 with my free points. So I picked up Brooklyn here, which I will name our Magneton, because the Nets, Brooklyn Magnetons, if that works. I mean, it does to me. But anyways, it has Sturdy, Magnet Pull, and Analytic. 3 very useful abilities. I usually like to find Pokemon that have abilities that are very useful. This thing does get Volt Switch. It's kind of slow. It's, I believe, the slowest Pokemon on our team right now, outside of... No, Vaporeon is the slowest Pokemon on our team. But yeah, so it's pretty slow, but it has 125 special attack, which is really, really nice. So at this point, I'm just hoping that Magneton can put in a lot of work for us, getting rid of those Steel types, being that nice electric type, providing us with Volt Switch. It gets, I believe, just Light Screen. It's either Light Screen or Dual Screens, one of the two, but I know it definitely gets Light Screen. So that's that. Let's move on to our next Pokemon. With our third to last pick, I actually picked up Django here, which I am naming after Julia's dog. It is a Lycanroc Dusk, excuse me. And Lycanroc Dusk is very, very underrated so far. I know it's OU right now, but that's just because everyone wants to play with the new toy. But this thing has Tough Claws. It has 117 base attack, 110 base speed, and that is very nice. It also gets access to Excel Rock, and that is Tough Claws boosted, so this thing should be able to pick up a lot of nice KOs for us. It's also only our second rocker, and having only 2 rockers is kind of a weakness for us, but I know I can play around it. I'm not that big into hazards, I'm not that big into hazard removal because I'd rather play offensive or just take things down, but I mean, Lycanroc Dusk is definitely the best Pokemon that I could find at this point in the draft for Tier 4, and this is another Tier 4 Pokemon, meaning that we have 40 extra free points towards the, well, if I decide to upgrade either Slurpuff, Magneton, Lycanroc, or the Ditto. So, yeah, I mean, I'm very excited to see how this draft will go for us. Moving on, though, I'm so sorry, that is the real Django shaking right now next to me. So, next up, though, we actually went into Tier 3 because I still need another Tier 3 Pokemon, and the Tier 3 I was looking at either Chestnut, Serena, Heracross, or Delmise. Those are the 4 Pokemon I was looking at, and I ended up deciding between Heracross and Delmise because Heracross provided me with a fighting type, a very offensive Pokemon that would be very helpful to release some pressure off Naganadel to sweep, off Latias, off Landorus, off Lycanroc. So I really wanted to look at that. But Delmise provided me with a spinner, a ghost type, which is very useful, and yeah, I mean, there was a lot that I wanted, guys. I mean, if I could have taken both, I definitely would have. I pretty much could have taken both actually, but I felt like my tier 4s were more important than these two Pokemon. So I decided to go with Heracross, and Heracross I took because it has access to Moxie, Guts, and well, Swarm is not really important. I named it after Hera Horde. I named it Hera Horde. Hera is the coach of the SL Benefica. He's actually a good friend of mine as well that I made through the Draft League format, and he's a good guy. So make sure you go check out his YouTube channel. It's at Hera Horde. So Heracross is very offensive. It has like 125 attack, and it's pretty fast too at 85. I believe it's our only Pokemon in the base 80s. I think so. Yeah, it's the only Pokemon in the base 80s, so that's good. Helps us speed creep a little bit, and it does have a 4 times weakness, but we have our Magneton and our Lycanroc that resists it. But other than that, we don't really resist flying, but not much does resist flying anyways. But that's that. I'm very excited to use Heracross. It's a Pokemon that I've used as Mega Form in the past very successfully, and I'm hoping that in the future, in the WPL, we can pull off a clean Heracross Moxie sweep with this Pokemon. So moving on, I'm playing with Django right now, and he's just being a pain in the ass. Go away, man, go away. So next up, on our last pick actually, I decided to grab this Pokemon. I had a fighting type in mind before I drafted Heracross. If I was going to draft Delmise, I was going to draft this other Pokemon, but for some reason I decided to go against it. I decided to actually pick up Murkrow, and Murkrow is my boy. If you guys watched the DL season 3, I believe it was, we had a game where we completely beat down Tails with our Murkrow, and Murkrow gets words. It gets Prankster, it gets Super Luck, which can be kind of useful. It actually has base 80s on its attacks, on both attack stats, so that's pretty damn good. It gets Brave Bird. Actually, I think it gets Brave Bird, but it gets a decent amount of Dark moves. It doesn't get Knockoff, unfortunately, but it gets Pursuit, it gets Foul Play, it gets Nightshade. It gets a lot of really good options, but it's mostly support Pokemon. It's a very niche Pokemon, and I feel like having niche Pokemon is very nice to have at some points for your leagues. I mean, at some point, if I feel like I don't need Murkrow, I'll get another Dark type, but Murkrow's can be really good for us. So that's our draft, guys. The way the Z move users work is it's not everyone gets Z moves on your team. It's more like you pick 2 offensive Z move users who can use offensive Z moves, and then you can pick 1 Pokemon that gets all Z moves in the game, except for like Omni Boost, of course. And I was tempted to take, I'm still playing with the dog, and the dog is trying to like nibble on me. I was still tempted to take Lycanroc Dusk as my Z move user because of its signature Z move, which is, I think it works with Storm, with no, what's it called? Shattering Storm Shards? Ow, this dog is killing me right now, come on. One sec, guys, I'll be right back. Sorry about that, guys, the dog is kind of acting a little bit crazy, but he's calmed down a little bit, hopefully. So, like I was saying, the Z move users, Naganadel is one of them, Landorus Therian is the other one. The Z Captain, it can use any Z move except for, of course, Omni Boost, Evasion, whatever it would be. So I decided to make Arcanine my Z Captain, and the reason for that was because of Z Sunny Day. I mean, it also helps me out with Justified. It can let me sponge a knockoff pretty easily, and I mean, I've used the Arcanine in the past before. I picked up a 6-0 sweep with it, so I'm very excited to see what it can do this league. Anyways, that's the video, guys. Make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't. I'm going to make a ton of WPL content coming out. It's a weekly league coming out, I believe, every Sunday, I think it is. But like everyone in the WPL makes amazing content, so make sure you go check out everyone. They're all great coaches. If you're not subscribed to them, you're doing something wrong. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, the links are all in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to let me know what your favorite Pokemon that we drafted would be. For me, I'm definitely going to say it's going to be Naganadel. I think that's going to be my ace in the hole this season, and I mean, it's going to get banned probably the next season of the WPL. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all next time.